Have you ever experienced that heavy sensation of being in a crowd, yet feeling utterly invisible, as if there's an invisible gulf between you and everyone else? A divide that words can't seem to cross? This profound sense of isolation, often shunned and feared, was keenly understood by Carl Jung. He perceived loneliness not merely as a lack of companionship, but as a byproduct of heightened sensitivity, an intense awareness that finds the chaos and shallowness of the world hard to bear. Yet, within this solitude lies a unique power. While it can be painful, it also offers a pathway to self-discovery. Jung reminds us that the most profound truths, our deepest authenticity, and genuine connections with ourselves often emerge in the quiet of solitude. Loneliness doesn't equate to being lost. Instead, it can guide us toward uncovering our inner strength and nurturing a resilient relationship with who we are. If you've ever felt unseen or misunderstood, take heart. You're not alone. This feeling could very well be the first step toward a freedom you've yet to discover. This freedom is rooted in strength that doesn't rely on others or external situations. Today, we embark on this journey together. Jung teaches us that loneliness is not just an escape, but frequently a deliberate choice to retreat into oneself, seeking deeper significance. Those who feel lonely are often misjudged by society, labeled as odd or antisocial, when in reality, they often possess profound insights about what truly matters. Consider how often our relationships, conversations, and obligations drain us emotionally without offering real value in return. For these individuals, solitude is not a sign of weakness, but rather a form of self-care, a way to safeguard their own energy. In the stillness, they find clarity, and in distancing themselves from the chaos of the world, they unearth their authentic selves. While society may celebrate sociability and measure worth by the number of friends or social events one attends, what if we're missing a crucial truth? What if, in that silence and solitude, there lies a treasure that few have the chance to discover? What if loneliness isn't about isolation, but rather a journey back to oneself? Jung reveals that loneliness is an invitation, an opportunity to reconnect with our true selves. It offers the chance to mend old wounds and cultivate an inner strength that remains unshaken by outside opinions. Those who embrace silence often come to realize that genuine happiness is found not in the world around us, but within. Perhaps it's time to shift our perspective on loneliness, viewing it not as an escape or a flaw, but as a precious opportunity to see life through fresh eyes. Share in the comments what loneliness signifies for you, and let's delve into the hidden treasures of solitude and the wisdom of Carl Jung. While loneliness is often perceived as a burden, it is, in reality, an underappreciated gift. In the quiet it brings, a wealth of understanding awaits those willing to listen. When we step away from the clamor of the outside world, we stumble upon something truly special: the liberty to be our genuine selves. Picture a place where no one holds expectations over you, where you can drop the facade, and where your decisions are entirely yours to make. In this sanctuary, the remarkable strength of solitude comes to light. It liberates us from societal pressures and helps us discover who we really are. In the stillness, we uncover the clarity that often slips away amid the hustle and bustle of daily life. Have you ever felt the urge to break free from the weight of others' expectations? Loneliness serves as that sanctuary. It provides the space to organize our thoughts and restore our inner equilibrium. It allows us to concentrate on what truly counts, free from distractions and outside judgments. It's as if solitude unlocks a hidden realm within us that we frequently overlook. Within this quiet, we can identify our genuine desires and aspirations. How often do we neglect our own needs just to avoid conflict or to please those around us? Loneliness liberates us from this cycle. It reveals that we can make decisions without needing to defend ourselves. This newfound freedom enhances our self-trust and reassures us that we are enough, irrespective of outside influences. Solitude also serves as a powerful tool for finding emotional peace. In the presence of others, we often unknowingly absorb their energies and issues, which can be exhausting. However, when we find ourselves alone, we can shed this weight and tap into renewed strength. It's not an escape, it's a vital form of self-care. By gifting ourselves this time alone, we can rejuvenate and return to the world with fresh vigor. Have you ever had a moment of overwhelming clarity when everything suddenly clicked? Such revelations frequently happen in solitude, where we can truly listen to our own voice without interruptions. These instances are invaluable, providing us with guidance and illuminating what truly matters. The silence of loneliness acts as a mirror, reflecting our authentic selves. Yet, solitude is not merely a retreat, it's also an opportunity to explore new interests and passions. Unburdened by external demands, we can devote ourselves to pursuits that ignite our joy or hone skills that fulfill us. It empowers us to unleash our creativity and shape our lives according to our own visions. While society often celebrates social connections, solitude imparts a different kind of resilience. It teaches us that we don't need validation from others to acknowledge our worth. Loneliness isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to our inner strength and self-acceptance. Perhaps we should reframe our perspective on loneliness, viewing it not as a negative experience, but as a precious opportunity to connect with ourselves. In an ever-distracting world, it becomes an invitation to pause, reflect, and evolve. It offers us the chance to mold our lives with newfound clarity and authenticity. Have you tapped into the transformative magic of solitude? Share your experiences in the comments, and let's delve into the profound insights that lie within silence. For sometimes it is precisely the loneliness is the thread that weaves us deeply into the fabric of our own selves and reveals the true sources of pain in our relationships. This pain can manifest in various forms. Sometimes it's born from the betrayal of someone we held dear, while at other times it stems from unmet expectations, broken promises, or harsh words exchanged in a moment of anger. Then there's the subtler, yet equally intense ache of estrangement. Those who once stood beside us can suddenly seem to inhabit an entirely different realm. The bond we once cherished fades away, leaving behind a lesson that feels impossible to fill. In these moments, we come to understand just how vulnerable we are to others, and this vulnerability, though daunting, is what infuses our relationships with such depth. Even with the knowledge that we might get hurt, we keep yearning for connection, daring to open our hearts and try once more. Yet, for some, the weight of negative experiences becomes unbearable. They reach a stage where loneliness transforms from mere isolation to a sanctuary, a space where they can finally find solace away from expectations, demands, and disappointments. In solitude, they uncover a profound healing power, as if stepping back from the world grants them the necessary room to breathe and mend. You might question whether it's truly possible to live without interpersonal connections. The truth is intricate. As social creatures, we crave connection, yet we also require balance. Achieving that balance may sometimes necessitate retreating into solitude to gather strength before re-engaging with the outside world. Human relationships are a continuous exchange of energy. When they thrive, we feel revitalized, inspired, and cherished. However, when they become lopsided, they can drain us, instill insecurity, and challenge our sense of worth. The impacts of these relationships linger beyond the present, leaving impressions that can last for years or even a lifetime. This is why it's crucial to be discerning about who we allow into our inner circle. It's not about building walls around our hearts, but about recognizing who truly deserves a place by our side. Those who bring light rather than darkness, who empower us instead of diminishing us. Perhaps you've already felt the heaviness of a toxic relationship, that sense of tiptoeing around, never certain if you'll be met with understanding or criticism. You may have experienced the anguish of loss, the ache of separation, and the helplessness of watching a loved one choose a path you cannot follow. These experiences transform us. They compel us to ponder what we genuinely desire and need. Often, the answer is straightforward. We seek peace. We need relationships that act as a safe haven amid life's storms, not the storms themselves. And when we can't find that refuge in others, loneliness can become our ally, a companion that reminds us we can find comfort and joy within our own company. The influence of human relationships is unavoidable. They shape, challenge, and educate us, but above all, they highlight the crucial need for balance. In the end, we all aspire to lead lives that are fulfilling, where our relationships serve as a wellspring of energy and inspiration rather than a burden. And if achieving this harmony means embracing moments of solitude, then so be it. It's often within the quiet of loneliness that we discover the clarity needed to return to life with a lighter heart and a more resilient spirit. If you haven't hit that like button yet, now's the time, as we dive into the most captivating part of this video about loneliness and the psyche. Carl Jung perceived loneliness as more than simply being by oneself. Thinkers like Schopenhauer, Rousseau, and Thoreau viewed it as a pathway to true freedom, self-awareness, and a profound connection to something greater than ourselves. Picture yourself strolling through a serene forest. A gentle breeze whispering through the leaves, while the distant sound of a brook fills the air. In that moment, it's just you and nature. While this may seem desolate to some, these philosophers regarded such moments as sacred retreats, spaces where the human spirit can truly thrive. Have you ever experienced a sense of complete freedom, liberated from the need to please others or conform to their expectations? This is the essence of what these philosophers recognized in solitude. A pure freedom where we are the true architects of our thoughts and choices. Schopenhauer saw solitude as a release from the distractions and confines of the world. To him, constant companionship felt like a prison of triviality, where conversations often lacked depth and connections were seldom genuine. He believed that stepping away from the relentless pursuit of social approval grants us a priceless opportunity to delve deeper into ourselves, asserting that independent thought can only flourish in solitude, free from external influences. When you reflect on it, doesn't that resonate? Alone, we can tune into our own voices, unencumbered by the clamor of the outside world. In that silence, brilliant ideas emerge, and profound answers to our most pressing questions come to light. On the flip side, Thoreau viewed solitude as a means to reconnect with our humanity. He contended that societal norms and constraints often pull us away from our true essence. For him, being alone in nature felt like returning to a more genuine and authentic state of existence. Rousseau cherished solitary walks, taking time to observe the world around him and ponder life's intricacies. He expressed that in solitude, he felt more in tune with himself and aligned with the universe. Have you ever felt that sense of clarity that washes over you when you step back from the chaos of daily life and sink into a moment of quiet? That's precisely the enchantment Rousseau spoke of. The magic that unfolds when we permit ourselves to simply exist, free from the weight of external expectations. Thoreau took this notion even further. He not only embraced solitude, but actively sought it out during his renowned experiment of living alone in a cabin by a lake, which he chronicled in Walden. He demonstrated that simplicity and solitude can become colossal sources of inner richness. He believed that by stepping away from the frenzy and distractions, In today's fast-paced world, we often discover a profound bond with nature, which in turn connects us to our true selves. Thoreau perceived solitude not as something to dread, but as a chance for personal growth and introspection. He believed that in moments of solitude, our minds can clear, thoughts can align, and life takes on a richer significance. These thinkers recognized a vital truth that we frequently overlook in our busy lives. Solitude isn't an empty void that requires filling. It's an opportunity for exploration. It's in these quiet moments that we can truly reflect on who we are, what we desire, and what holds real importance in our lives. Solitude invites us to slow down, take a breath, and gain a fresh perspective. You might be asking yourself, what if solitude leaves me feeling isolated from others? The wisdom of these philosophers reminds us that when we choose solitude intentionally, it doesn't lead to separation. Rather, it facilitates a reconnection with our roots, our values, and the passions that make us feel truly alive. They also reveal that solitude is a rich soil for creativity. Many of our greatest ideas and profound insights often bloom in moments of solitude. Think back to the times when your best ideas emerged. Weren't they often during quiet moments when your mind was free to wander and explore without interruption? That's the magic of solitude. It grants us the space to think, create, and dream. Contrary to what many believe, solitude doesn't cut us off from the world. It prepares us to re-enter with renewed strength, heightened awareness, and a sense of completeness. Perhaps it's time to shift our perspective on solitude. Instead of viewing it as something to flee from, we might embrace it as a companion, a mentor guiding us to appreciate our own company. Ultimately, if we can't find peace within ourselves, how can we genuinely connect with others? Solitude, as these philosophers illustrate, is not merely a state of being alone. It's a journey of self-discovery, liberation, and authenticity. If we allow it, solitude can become one of the most transformative experiences we encounter. In the realm of spiritual traditions, solitude acts as a portal to a deeper understanding of life and self. In Buddhism, it's not seen as a state of abandonment or loneliness. Instead, it serves as a powerful tool for achieving inner peace and enlightenment. Imagine a moment when you feel completely free from the clamor of the world, unburdened by the distractions of modern life. In this silence lies a golden opportunity, a chance for the mind to settle and the soul to connect with something far greater. The Sutra of the Rhinoceros enriches this concept by likening the spiritual journey to the solitary path of a rhinoceros, an animal that thrives without the constant companionship of others. This sutra acts as a guiding light, reminding us that often we must release ourselves from the ties that bind and confuse us to truly understand who we are. Life, with its myriad connections. Attachments often ensnare us in endless cycles of longing and expectations, obscuring our spiritual clarity. In this context, Buddhism encourages us to emulate the rhinoceros, standing strong in solitude, free, and confidently treading our own path without relying on others. While it may seem daunting or uncomfortable, this journey of solitude can be remarkably liberating. When you step away from the relentless chatter of society and outside influences, your inner voice begins to resonate more clearly. It's akin to polishing a dusty mirror until your true reflection shines through, unclouded by distractions. Buddha taught that attachment is a primary source of human suffering, and let's face it, the tighter we hold on to things, people, or beliefs, the more susceptible we become to disappointment and loss. In this light, solitude isn't about shunning the world. It's a means to cultivate a wiser, more balanced existence within it. Choosing to spend time alone, even if just briefly, allows you to break free from these chains and relish the pure essence of being. Picture the liberation of not being under constant pressure to fulfill others' expectations, maintain appearances, or seek approval. Embracing solitude reveals that true strength resides within us and that we don't require external crutches to attain inner peace. The Sutra of the Rhinoceros conveys a profound message about letting go that transcends mere physical isolation. It's about liberating ourselves from worldly anxieties, the fears that haunt us, and the illusions that trap us in limiting thought patterns. As you wander alone like the rhinoceros, you cultivate self-trust, learn to enjoy your own company, and discover beauty in simplicity. In this simplicity, the deepest truths come to light. Granting yourself the gift of solitude allows you to notice things that might have previously slipped by. Subtle details, enlightening insights, and a connection to the universe that's difficult to articulate, yet brings a rare tranquility. Buddhism teaches that enlightenment isn't found outside of ourselves. It awakens from within, and solitude is one of the clearest paths to this state. When you create distance from external distractions, you open up space for introspection, enabling you to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and intentions. This practice not only clarifies your perspective, but also fortifies your emotional resilience, empowering you to confront life's challenges with greater calm and wisdom. For those who've tasted the profound peace of solitude, nothing can disrupt that inner equilibrium. There's something deeply spiritual about being alone in nature. Much like the Buddha, who withdrew from the hustle of villages and cities to meditate beneath trees, by riverbanks, or in caves. These solitary moments allowed him to transcend worldly concerns and connect with the essence of life itself. Have you ever envisioned being in such a setting, where the gentle rustling of leaves and the melodic chirping of birds are your only companions? For Buddhists, such a place serves not only as a sanctuary, but as an invitation to reconnect with our most authentic selves. Nature, in its unadorned beauty, mirrors the fleeting nature of life and teaches us to cherish the present, free from fears about the future or regrets from the past. When the Rhinoceros Sutra speaks of solitude, it doesn't suggest we sever our ties with others or live in isolation indefinitely. Instead, it highlights the significance of solitary moments that allow us to nurture and elevate our spiritual growth. Just as the rhinoceros strides forward with purpose but without rush, the Buddhist practitioner is encouraged to navigate their spiritual journey with determination, tempered by patience and self-compassion. These intervals of solitude act as essential breaks in a long voyage, moments to catch our breath, reassess our path, and proceed with renewed clarity and intent. In Buddhism, solitude is perceived as a liberating state where the chains of societal expectations dissolve, granting the mind the freedom to delve into its true essence. The beauty of embracing solitude lies in its power to enhance our connection with others. It fosters greater understanding and empathy. By gaining insight into ourselves, we become better equipped to comprehend those around us. When we cultivate peace in our own company, we can then radiate that tranquility into the world. So, allow yourself to immerse in this solitude, this silence that resonates louder than any clamor. A vast universe awaits to be explored within you. Social interactions flow like a river, continuously connecting us, challenging us, teaching us, and often providing comfort. Yet, have you ever noticed how constant company can shape us in ways we might not fully realize? Social life comes with its own set of expectations, doesn't it? There's a pressure to conform, to gain acceptance, and to meet the standards set by others. It's almost as if we don a mask, presenting a polished version of ourselves. Over time, that mask can become burdensome, leading us to question whether we truly recognize the person beneath it. Have you ever reflected on how often you've acted or spoken just to please others, avoid conflict, or blend in with a group? This is where the true value of solitude emerges, a space that, contrary to popular belief, is brimming with possibilities and, above all, authenticity. Solitude grants us the freedom to reveal our true selves, unencumbered by social pressures. In moments of aloneness, there's no one observing us, no one judging, and no roles to perform. It's like finally kicking off those tight shoes after a long day and allowing ourselves to unwind. In this state, we begin to reconnect with parts of ourselves that may have been overlooked or forgotten. We realize that while social life is vital, it can sometimes create a distance from our true essence. Constant engagement can be akin to background noise that drowns out our inner voice. When we finally step back and immerse ourselves in solitude, that noise begins to fade away. An overwhelming isolation that feels inescapable. Clarity starts to emerge, revealing truths that once seemed out of reach. This isn't to say that social interactions are detrimental. On the contrary, they enrich our lives with vibrant experiences, joyful moments, and invaluable lessons about the world and ourselves. Yet, when we lack balance, social life can become draining, leaving us feeling depleted rather than fulfilled. In contrast, solitude offers a sanctuary that social engagements often can't provide. A chance for introspection, personal growth, and the exploration of our thoughts and emotions, free from outside distractions. It's akin to stepping into a serene room after being in a bustling environment. Suddenly, everything becomes sharper and more defined. Here, we can hear our own thoughts, connect with our feelings, and, most crucially, start to uncover what truly matters to us. Interestingly, solitude doesn't isolate us from the world. Instead, it equips us to engage with it more authentically and mindfully. The more time we spend in our own company, the better we understand ourselves, leading to greater confidence and a diminished susceptibility to the expectations of others. Despite its common misinterpretation as a sign of loneliness, solitude possesses a profound, transformative potential. Within the quiet it fosters lies the opportunity for deeper self-discovery. When we silence the external clamor, we begin to see what really motivates us. It becomes a journey toward authenticity, offering a lens through which we can experience life from within. Have you noticed how your social interactions shift after spending time alone? They often feel lighter and more genuine because you're coming from a place of inner clarity and strength. Solitude empowers us to break free from societal pressures and focus on our personal values, granting us not only peace, but also the freedom to make choices free from the constant scrutiny of others. The growth that stems from solitude is distinctly personal. It's a space where we can sort through our thoughts, pursue our dreams, and truly recognize ourselves. Engaging with our own company takes courage, as it forces us to confront questions we frequently sidestep in our daily lives. Yet, this confrontation can ignite the beginning of a life rooted in our own beliefs, liberated from outside constraints. Of course, social life has its merits, providing connection, exchange, and joy. But solitude serves as the necessary counterbalance that anchors us to our inner selves. Both aspects hold significance, yet their true value shines through in harmony. Solitude should never be seen as an escape. It's a deliberate choice, a moment to recharge and deepen our self-understanding. Have you ever felt alone in a crowded room? That can be one of the most profound forms of loneliness, when physical proximity fails to create an emotional bond. In those moments, it becomes evident that genuine connection isn't about the number of people around us, but the depth of our relationships. Sometimes, solitude is the initial step toward identifying which connections are genuinely meaningful. However, it's essential to recognize that prolonged solitude can become perilous. What begins as a safe haven can gradually morph into. We often find ourselves facing a barrier that separates us from both others and our own inner selves. During these times, it's vital to reach out, seek help, and reconnect with the world around us. As social creatures, our well-being heavily relies on human connection. The challenge lies in striking the right balance between solitude and social engagement. between finding inner peace and interacting with the outside world. This equilibrium is unique to each person and can shift over time. It's essential to pay attention to the signals from our body and mind. When chosen mindfully, solitude can be healing. However, it should never become a burden. So, the next time you feel the urge to retreat into your own space, embrace that time. It's not a weakness, but a vital act of self-care. And if loneliness starts to feel overwhelming, don't hesitate to reach out for the connection you crave. True strength comes from knowing when to enjoy solitude and when to seek the warmth of companionship. Loneliness isn't an enemy. It's an opportunity to live more consciously and step into the world with renewed clarity. It reminds us that even in solitude, we're never truly abandoned. As in those quiet moments, we reconnect with ourselves in a way that can't be taken away. Self-awareness is key to maintaining that delicate balance. It signals when we need the company of others and when we require the stillness of solitude. Yet, finding this balance isn't always straightforward. It's an ongoing journey that demands introspection, challenging us to discern what truly supports us versus what we cling to out of habit or fear of change. This honesty with ourselves, while often difficult, can be one of the most freeing experiences we encounter. Picture life as a scale, with solitude on one side and social interaction on the other. Keeping this scale balanced doesn't mean both sides have to weigh the same at all times. There will be moments when solitude is necessary, when the weight of the world feels too great and you need space to breathe and regroup. Other times, it's the joy of social interaction that fills a void only human connection can satisfy, and that's completely okay. The key is to recognize these moments and understand what your body and mind need. An imbalance in either direction can come at a steep price. Too much isolation can lead us to drown in our thoughts, spiral into self-criticism, and feel detached from reality. Conversely, immersing ourselves too deeply in social life without moments for introspection can cause us to lose our sense of self, forget our priorities, and become trapped by others' expectations. The balance between solitude and social life is fluid, which is why ongoing self-reflection is vital. Have you ever felt lonely even while surrounded by people? That's because connection isn't merely about being in the presence of others. It's about truly engaging and being present. And for that, we must first be in tune with ourselves. Embracing solitude, when approached thoughtfully, grants us the chance to process our feelings, discover our true desires, and empower ourselves. It's not about shunning others. It's about interacting with them in a mindful, healthy, and fulfilling manner. Our social lives can be incredibly enriching, bringing us joy, knowledge, and a sense of belonging. Yet, they also come with their own set of challenges. We often feel an instinctive urge to please others, to seek acceptance, and to belong, which can lead us to sacrifice essential parts of ourselves. It's all too easy to lose sight of who we are amidst others' expectations, neglecting to turn inward and ask whether our choices genuinely serve us, foster our growth, or simply drain our energy. Engaging in self-reflection empowers us to pose these tough but vital questions. More importantly, it provides the courage to act on the insights we uncover. Self-awareness isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey, much like a muscle that needs regular exercise. Every experience, every choice, and each moment alone offers us a chance to learn more about ourselves. The deeper our self-understanding, the clearer our boundaries, needs, and aspirations become. This clarity enables us to live authentically, aligned with our true selves, rather than simply conforming to outside pressures. The beauty of this alignment is that our relationships with others grow more genuine. We stop seeking validation or trying to fit in. We embrace our true selves, creating space for authentic, meaningful connections. Finding this equilibrium demands patience and the courage to face moments of discomfort, as the path to self-awareness is rarely straightforward. It pushes us to confront our insecurities, fears, and vulnerabilities, yet it's through this confrontation that we experience growth. Solitude becomes a powerful ally, providing the space we need to reflect, feel, and connect with what truly matters. Meanwhile, our social interactions serve as mirrors, revealing how our actions and words impact the world around us. These two realms are interconnected. Together, they help us find our center and balance. Have you ever had a moment where everything fell into place, where a profound sense of peace washed over you? Such moments usually arise when we achieve balance, aligning our inner and outer needs. The truth is, each of us has this ability within. The challenge is in learning to listen, to trust our intuition, and to give ourselves what we genuinely need, even if it means saying no to external pressures or facing the discomfort of solitude. Mastering the balance between solitude and social life is an art, a continuous practice that demands attention, care, and most importantly, self-love. Self-awareness forms the foundation of this journey, equipping us with the tools to navigate life's complexities with greater clarity and confidence. As we find our balance and navigate through life, we not only grow stronger, but also become more capable of offering our best to others. Ultimately, we all aspire to live a fulfilling life, deeply connected to ourselves and the world around us. So, embrace this journey. Take the time to explore your solitude, cherish your connections, and discover the rhythm that makes your heart sing. Solitude possesses a transformative power that many overlook. At first, it may appear intimidating, especially since we've been led to believe that being alone signifies failure or an inability to maintain relationships. However, when embraced with courage, solitude can reconnect us with our true selves, free from the world's expectations and pressures. Understanding the need for solitude isn't easy. It demands a profound honesty with oneself. It takes bravery to acknowledge that some relationships may not serve our well-being. What's even more challenging is accepting that sometimes the best way to protect ourselves is to step back. Although it may feel painful initially, this is the first step toward emotional liberation. Solitude becomes increasingly essential when we find ourselves in relationships that do more harm than good. Have you ever felt drained and empty even while surrounded by others? This burden goes beyond the physical. It seeps into our emotional and mental well-being. Certain connections can sap our essence, instill doubt about our worth, and trap us in cycles of emotional dependency. Summoning the courage to break free from these situations is not just an act of self-love, it's a matter of survival. Remaining in a toxic or abusive environment not only depletes your spirit, but also silences your true inner voice, the very voice needed for growth, healing, and self-discovery. The bravery to welcome solitude emerges when you recognize that your inner peace is far more valuable than any company. You realize that the temporary discomfort of stepping back is minor compared to the ongoing anguish of staying in suffocating relationships. This is where the beauty of solitude lies. When approached mindfully, it's not a dark void. Rather, it becomes a sanctuary of renewal, a moment to breathe deeply and mend the weary parts of your soul. In solitude, you uncover what truly matters, what brings you authentic joy, and what you can let go of. It provides space for gentle reflection on your wounds, allowing healing without external pressures, and this quiet healing carries tremendous power. It's crucial to recognize that solitude doesn't mean permanent isolation. Often, it's just a temporary, necessary phase for internal reorganization. Think of it as closing the doors of your home during a storm. You protect yourself, find warmth, and prepare to reopen those doors once the storm has passed. When you do this, You'll discover newfound strength, a deeper sense of security within yourself, and a greater readiness to face the world ahead. Be intentional about who you let into your life. Once you've savored the tranquility and serenity of solitude, you'll find it hard to settle for just anyone. Your choices will become more discerning. This isn't about being proud. It's about recognizing the worth of your energy and inner harmony. Solitude teaches us to value our own company, a lesson often overlooked. In a world that pushes us to seek approval from others, we seldom learn to find solace within ourselves. By embracing solitude, you discover that you don't need outside validation to feel complete. You realize that your own strength, joy, and peace are self-sustaining, and that's something no one can take from you. This emotional independence lays the groundwork for all your future relationships. The more in tune you are with yourself, the easier it becomes to establish healthy boundaries, to confidently say no when needed, and to step back guilt-free when things don't resonate with your values. Of course, the journey into solitude isn't always easy. Initially, you might feel discomfort or even fear, as we're wired to fill our lives with distractions and noise, making silence seem daunting. Yet, it's in that very silence that you begin to uncover what truly matters. Here, your intuition can breathe, and your genuine needs emerge. Over time, you'll come to understand that this silence is not void, but brimming with possibility. A canvas where you can dream, strategize, and reconnect with your passions and aspirations. It becomes the fertile ground for self-awareness to flourish. There's something incredibly freeing in realizing that you don't need anyone else to find joy or purpose. Solitude reveals that you are enough just as you are, and with this realization, a shift occurs within you. You begin to engage with others from a sense of abundance rather than lack. Your conversations become lighter and more genuine, as you no longer seek to fill gaps or chase validation. Instead, you share your energy freely, without expectations. This change in mindset transforms everything. Suddenly, solitude is no longer a burden, but a companion that stands by you whenever you need to pause and reconnect with yourself. Understandably, not everyone will grasp your choice to embrace solitude, especially when it means stepping back from people or situations that seem good on the surface. But that's okay. What truly matters is prioritizing your well-being, safeguarding your energy, and allowing yourself to grow in ways that might be hindered by holding on to what harms you. By doing this, you create room for new, healthier relationships and a life that resonates with your true self. Each time you choose solitude, prioritize your inner peace, or say no to what doesn't serve you, you cultivate the courage to prioritize yourself. When you embrace silence without fear, that bravery gradually evolves into strength, fostering self-confidence and the unshakable belief that even in your most solitary moments, you are precisely where you're meant to be. Solitude isn't an ending. It's a fresh start, a chance to truly understand yourself, to heal, and to live fully. Achieving emotional self-sufficiency ranks among the greatest accomplishments one can achieve, yet it remains one of the most overlooked. In our society, we often hear that true happiness hinges on our connections with others. From a young age, we're taught that we need companionship to feel whole, that being alone signifies weakness or a failure to maintain relationships. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Real strength, genuine peace, and true freedom emerge when you become at ease in your own presence. Emotional self-sufficiency doesn't entail rejecting the world or shying away from relationships. Rather, it's about recognizing that you are enough and that your joy and inner calm aren't reliant on others. This mindset allows you to discover security and strength from within, transforming everything around you. It reshapes how you view yourself, how you engage with others, and how you tackle life's hurdles. Learning to feel at home in solitude is the first step toward emotional self-sufficiency. Loneliness possesses a power that many fail to grasp, as most people are afraid of it. Yet, what's often overlooked is that when you willingly and consciously accept loneliness, it becomes a sanctuary for healing, growth, and introspection. In those quiet moments, you can disconnect from the chaos of the outside world and reconnect with yourself. Reflect on how often you truly take the time to listen to your own thoughts and feel your own emotions, free from the sway of outside opinions or judgments. In solitude, you gain clarity. It's your chance to sort through your mind, ask yourself important questions, and dive deeper into who you are. As you begin to unravel your true self, you'll discover that many of your pains, insecurities, and fears arise from an emotional reliance on others, from the belief that someone else can fill the voids that only you can mend. Emotional self-sufficiency does not equate to avoiding relationships or isolating yourself. On the contrary, it empowers you to enter every connection with a solid foundation, understanding that your happiness doesn't lie in someone else's hands. This lightens the burden of relationships and allows them to be more genuine. You won't seek from others what you lack within. Instead, you'll share your abundance and serenity. This shift transforms the dynamics of each relationship. You'll be less inclined to tolerate toxic behaviors or accept less than you deserve because when you recognize your own worth, when you are comfortable on your own, you come to see that you don't need anyone else to feel whole. You consciously choose who comes into your life, making that decision from a place of strength rather than need. Perhaps you've been there yourself. Maybe you've found yourself in relationships where it felt like your happiness hinged entirely on. Imagine a time when you relied on others or held on to relationships that weren't serving you, simply because the thought of being alone felt too daunting. Now, envision the complete opposite. Picture yourself feeling utterly secure in your own skin, so at ease in your own company that the fear of solitude fades away. Imagine having the strength to release any relationship or circumstance that doesn't honor your worth without feelings of guilt or insecurity. This is what emotional self-sufficiency looks like. It's a powerful state that empowers you to navigate life boldly, shielding you from becoming lost in draining connections while paving the way for healthier, more meaningful relationships. When you learn to embrace solitude and find joy in it, a remarkable transformation begins. You start to understand that silence holds answers. In the stillness, your own voice becomes clearer. You begin to identify what truly matters, your values, your aspirations, and your genuine priorities. This newfound clarity instills a sense of purpose that's hard to articulate. You become more aligned with yourself, more assured in your choices, and perhaps most importantly, you find a deeper sense of peace. As you break free from emotional dependence, you liberate yourself from the weight of expectations, the games, and the disappointments that often come with unbalanced relationships. You stop searching for what you lack in others, and that realization is one of the most profound freedoms you can achieve. Although the path to emotional self-sufficiency can be tough, it is also one of the most enriching journeys you can embark on. Each step you take leads you closer to a life that is more fulfilling, authentic, and free. Along this path, you will uncover a surprising truth. The very person you've always sought to provide you with happiness and security has been within you all along. It has always been you. And once you recognize this reality, everything shifts. Let's delve into this together. For emotional self-sufficiency is filled with hidden treasures. It serves as the bedrock of a meaningful life, and a world brimming with possibilities awaits when you begin to cultivate this solid foundation within yourself.